Hi guys, Dave here from Echo Discos, and today we're going to be looking at these guys, the Comscan System from American DJ. Now in the package, in the system, you get the two Comscan fixtures which are up here. You get the American DJ UC3 remote where you can control different things with the lights, which I'll show you in a little bit. And you get an ACU cable, DMX cable to connect the two lights together. Now these are LED scanners, but don't give the sort of LED effect that you might be used to seeing from other types of light. These in fact use gobos and really capture the feel and essence of other types of scanner, which might not be LED, but of course you get all the advantages with these being LED. Okay, so on the back of the fixture you've got your adjustable mounting bracket, and I've put a G-clamp up here for going onto the truss. You've got DMX output and input, which is via 3-pin XLR. You've got the socket there for the UC3 remote, which is like a jack, the safety ring, and the power input, which is via an IEC kettle lead. This is the top of the fixture with the front facing that way, and the first thing you get when you press the menu button on the function display is the DMX address, where you can set the start channel for being used on DMX mode. This is slave mode. Now this is the slave fixture in the pair that we're using at the moment, and this is set to slave number 1. Next thing is show mode. If I go enter there, I can choose which of the inbuilt shows I want it to be using. I'm going to use 0, which is a mixture of everything for now. This is sound active mode. Now you can turn on or off like this, whether sound active mode is on. If it's off, it means the fixture's just going to stay still in like a static position, so it won't respond to any sound. This is blind, which is like a standby mode. You can leave the actual power of the light on but turn off the output, which is handy because it means you don't have to wait for it to power up and warm up and start to actually work. It's just instantly there, and that can be toggled on the UC3 as well. This is to turn off the LED display, the function display. I still haven't worked out why you'd want to do that. This is to invert the display. I can go into that, and if depending on how this light's mounted, I can just toggle that with the enter button and choose which way around I want the function display to be. This is to invert the pan or invert the tilt. Now this one has inverted pan, which gets that crossing over effect. There's a test mode, which just shoots some gobos around and does some things and just makes sure it's all working. You can find out the temperature of the fixture, how many hours it's been on for, the software version, or do a factory reset. And we're back to the beginning. We're now looking at the front of one of the Comscans with it lying down, and it's worth pointing out at this point that American DJ have been very clever here by including this protective metal plate and these thumb screws, where while you're transporting your Comscans, you can unscrew these. Imagine this is after a gig. Put the plate on, screw it in, and you've now protected your light whilst it's being transported around. You've now protected the mirror and all the inner workings, so that can now be transported very nice and easy like that. Let's take a look at the gobos. We've got the first one, which is just an open white spot, a sort of yellow funny shape, I don't know really how to describe that, a red rose-ish pattern, green spiky grass, a blue explosion shape, tricolour teardrops in red, green and blue, purple spots, a cyan mesh breakup, a dual colour purple and blue ring, and we're back to the beginning. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. Let's stick a beat on and take a look. Now I mentioned earlier that the Comscan system comes complete with the American DJ UC3 controller, which you should just about be able to make out in the bottom left hand side of the screen. I'm just going to give you a quick demo. So when it's in standby mode, where this light at the top here is on, the lights are still on. This is just plugged into the master, but they're not actually outputting anything. Now to turn them on, all I need to do is just hit this top button here and they'll come into life there. Now once they are, there's several things you can do with the controller to actually control them. The first mode that it's in is when the mode light, which is this bottom one by my thumb here, when that light's off, that means it's in strobe mode. Now by pressing the middle button, which is the function button, you can actually get it to strobe. It goes straight over to the white spot, and by pressing and holding that down you can get a strobe, which is a pretty cool feature. Now by pressing the mode button again, you get the light come on, which is the second function you can do, and this actually makes the light do different movements by pressing the middle button, the function button. Finally, when the light down here is flashing, which is the final mode it can do, you can scroll through the gobos, which is how I showed you what different gobos are on the light earlier. So it's just a quick demonstration of the UC3 controller with the Comscans. Remember guys, to protect your investment and bag up your gear with Arriba cases. This is the AC-145 case, which is designed for the Comscan system. It's quite roomy in here. Comscans go down nicely in there, and there's even space in the back there, these dividers, because this bag is also suitable for 4 par cans. There are these dividers, and there's even space in the back for 2 little extra effects, so I carry around those in here as well. There's space in the front for all your cables, and it's just a really nice bag to keep everything safe. So I highly recommend the AC-145 case, and of course any Arriba case for your lights. So there's a bit of a look at the Comscan system from American DJ. Now I must point out that showing the effect to you like that in the garage really didn't do them any justice at all. So do make sure you check out our future gig logs, and we'll be able to show you really what these can do. We took them out on the road a couple of weeks ago. It was quite a nice big room, but we were a little bit cramped width-wise, so the speakers had to go in front of the truss, which couldn't really be helped. But even then, the effect would just bring so much more life into the setup. It would go up on the ceiling and down and round the room. It would just look awesome. And it's really great to see that sort of effect, that classic gobo effect, scanning around from an LED fixture. It's just a win-win situation. You've got no heat, and it's just nice and compact and low maintenance. Really great to see that. So they come highly recommended from us. Now earlier in the video when we looked at the gobos, you'll probably have noticed that the colour and gobo wheel is actually the same, so each gobo is only available in that set colour. Now for us, we use these lights later on. I think it's important not to show your cards too early when you're doing a disco. Save the sort of big dancey effects for the big dancey songs later, and that's just what we do with these. So it's not really an issue for us to need separate colour and gobo wheels. It's just an effect that we shoot off later on in the night, and it goes around the room, looks absolutely awesome, and the client's not going to notice that each gobo only comes in one colour. That's fine. It's just a really great dancey effect, and looks really great. So if you do need that sort of thing, say for first dances, you need that rotation, or to be able to choose a wider variety of colours or gobos, then you might need to go a little bit higher for price point. But as I say, as a dancey effect for later on, these work absolutely perfectly. They come really highly recommended from us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.